Hello, everybody. It is currently 65 degrees outside, and my grandson Brian and I are moving or removing the roots out of this garden bed because you remember I harvested all the greens and got 19 quarts, and I'm getting ready to solarize it. And we're going to remove all of those roots. Now, normally what I do is I just let them stay there and let them decay and let the earthworms have something to feast on and poop and make worm casting. But because I'm getting ready to solarize it, I want to go ahead and remove this. Now, if you're new to my channel, or if you didn't watch my video where I showed you some of the knotted roots that were on my greens as well as my beet roots, this is what it looked like. But it's not as bad as it was last year. They were terrible. The knotted roots took over my okra and eggplant crops. So I treated it with marigolds, solarization, and crushed crab shells. So I got comfortable because I thought I wiped them out. But obviously, I still had some bad nematodes in the soil, and the evidence is in that picture. But I'm not worried about it because I'm confident that I'm going to wipe these suckers out, and I'm going to continually treat my beds. Every time I have some crab legs, I'm going to crush them and put them into the soil, and I will wipe these out because all around my tomatoes and peppers, I'm going to grow marigolds this year. All around the borders that you see, all in here, these are society garlic, and I plant them around the borders of my garden beds because the odor is very pungent and insects don't like it. And wherever I have the society garlic planted, I don't get any insects. Okay, so I started off with 3 pots that I got on clearance at Lowe's. They were on life support, and I brought them home, and I kept dividing them. And I think I ordered 4 more rooted pieces from eBay. When I say I think, I know I ordered them, but I don't know if I got them from Amazon or eBay. I can look at my records, but I'm pretty sure it's eBay. And all of my garden beds, well, I only have 3 now, 4. 2 in the greenhouse and 2 outside. So every season I multiply. Like these are multiplying already. See, this is 1. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will divide these in the spring. Okay. So Brian is shaking it out. And then he's putting it in that bag. And guys, I am not going to compost this material. I'm not going to compost these green roots for the simple reason that I don't want to spread the nematodes. And I think that's what I did previously by adding compost that had some nematodes in it. I make compost tea, and I diluted and water all my beds, and I was just spreading it. I've been gardening for 30 years or more. I remember bidding on 2 avocado trees. They were really sick, and I complained about them to the merchant on eBay, and he said they go dormant and they will come back, but they didn't. But I had them in the house, and I think that's why that plant, those 2 trees, baby trees, died, because I think that's where the nematodes came in, because there was no reason for them to die like that. And also, they had an infestation of white flies. That was the first time I'd ever seen white flies, and they were inside of my home. So I know that's how I got white flies outside in my garden, in my food forest, and in my greenhouse. And I think it all came from one merchant who wasn't really honest about what he was sending people. Because I would never send anybody anything that I thought was infested. Okay, so Brian's almost finished. And then we're going to move over to the other bed. And we'll come back. Okay, so now I'm outside, and as you can see, I removed as much of the debris from this bed, remnants of greens and roots, as I could. Well, as I wanted to, put it that way. I could remove more. So now I'm going to try to hold this with one hand and then pour the contents of the blender over the beds. And I'm not concentrating on the outer edges because that's where the garlic was. I hope you can see that. And now I'm gonna go mix up some more. Just add a little water to it. I called my daughter and asked her what did she put in her seed oil, and she said just spices and herbs. So there wasn't any oil or anything like that. So I didn't have to try to disinfect them with a little bleach and alcohol like I previously stated in another video. I just ground them up. And I will get this one and put it back in the blender if I can reach it. And then I'm just gonna clean that blender out real good. And I'm just gonna turn this over and then I'll put the plastic on it. I may wait until tomorrow because we're supposed to get a lot of rain. And let this get soaked in real good and then put the plastic on. But while I'm out here, to show you a couple things I found in my grow room / pantry. I found some of my onions that I grew last year are growing, so I put a lot of them in these 3 right here, 1 here and here, 3 across here, and not in this one because these are mustard, red mustard still growing. And I put some onions that were sprouting in the grow room because that is an excellent companion plant for strawberries that I was growing from seed in this container right here. I decided I'll put the strawberries here. Another thing I want to show you guys is look at this tree. Let me zoom in closer. Look at all the blooms on my Gala apple tree. But I cannot get upset if we get a freeze and these all die because that's out of my control. Fortunately for me, I have, let me look around here. 1, 2, 3, I think I have 4 more apple trees. So, but this is the one that's the tallest. This is the one I mentioned in another video. I said I wasn't going to prune it. I didn't mean to say it exactly like that. I'm going to prune any cross branches, but I'm not going to prune the height because I want this tree to be the canopy. This is one of the very first trees I planted in my food forest. Right now, the estimate is about 10 or 11 feet. So, yeah. Now, if we don't get a freeze, we're going to have a lot of apples this year. Last year was the first year that it produced. We only got 6. I think we had about 8, but only 6 were good. And so if it freezes, hey, it is what it is. But all of my trees just about are all blooming or budding out, fruit buds on them. So I'm happy. Okay, let me get back in so I can finish mixing up this crab leg shells. One more thing before I go in the house. I decided to go ahead and cover up or stir in the shells, crushed shells into the garden bed for the simple reason flies started coming around because they don't smell too good. But they don't smell, this crab shells don't smell as bad as fish emulsion. So after I covered them up, the flies went away. I thought that was funny. Okay, so I'm on to making more crushed crab shells, and I'm on to the next bed. So this time I dug out little trenches, little horizontal trenches And that way I can just easily cover them up. Okay, so let me try to film this. One hand, let me get the picture. I guess I'll start down on this end. Uh-oh, wow, I put too much. It went so fast. Thank God I got a lot left. And look here. This didn't blend enough. I'm gonna go back. I blended it up more. And I have a few pieces over there that I need to pick up. And this is the first time I've stepped into this bed. I've been practicing the back to eater no-till method for years. But you gotta do what you gotta do. And so since this all blended well, I'm not gonna run the blender just for those two pieces. I'll just leave them in here. Okay. So now, if I can get my shadow out of the way, I can show you how I just covered it up. I don't even know if you see me because all I see is my shadow. Beautiful day, like I said. I think it's going to be 65 today. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 70. And I heard the forecast and I watch the Weather Channel constantly all day long so I can know if I need to turn heat on or off in my greenhouse. But they said we're going to go through all 4 seasons. I believe it is on Friday. It's supposed to be above 75 and then get down to freezing by Friday night or early Saturday morning. Okay. So now I have to go pick up my grandson Brian. And when he comes, I'm going to cut the plastic, 6 milliliter greenhouse plastic that I get from greenhousestore.com. And if I made a mistake, I'll put a link in the description box. And yeah, and this will be the last stage of the solarization to get rid of non-beneficial nematodes out of the garden bed that can cause knotty roots. Enthusiasm.
Hi everybody, my name's Brian.
Very good, Brian. So Brian and I added compost to these 2 beds, and then we put leaves, and Brian spread them real nice for me. And it's very windy because we're getting ready to get a lot of rain. I need you to come and put some leaves right here.
Okay.
And we just cut that plastic. Excuse my backyard because I got a lot of work to do. And we just cut this 6 mil plastic and we're going to lay it down. It's raining. We're going to tighten this up a little bit more. But you see we have our plastic down. We don't want it too close to the edge so that our society garlic can't breathe. But Brian was a really good helper and he really helped me cut the plastic. We already had it, and also put the bricks around it. We're going to put some more, but it's starting to rain and I don't want him to get sick. Well, I'm coming to the conclusion of this video, and I just want to mention a few things to you. I mentioned earlier in the video that the crushed crab shells will destroy the nematodes. I want you to know that you can do the same thing with oyster shells as well as shrimp shells. And another thing that will kill nematodes is worm castings. So in the spring of the year, I'm going to rake back lightly the leaves, and I'll add a lot of worm castings to both of these beds. Another thing that destroys non-beneficial nematodes are marigolds. And so I plant a lot of those around my food forest every season. Well, actually every spring. So I'm going to continue to do that this year. Okay, I hope I've helped someone some kind of way with this video. I hope that you can take some tips and use them in your garden. I appreciate all of your support and I love each and every one of you. I sure hope you guys can see that. It's snowing. Can you believe it? Little flurries, but it's snowing. It was 70 degrees yesterday, and now it's 33 and snowing. Wow. Look at my little Gala apple tree. I sure hope it doesn't freeze. Anyway, God knows what's best. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye now.
The end.